Hello, hockey fans. Well, the first week of March is pretty much come to a close in the world of the NHL, and we are now down to the final 28 days of the season. That's right, 4 weeks even left. So, what happened in this first week of March? Well, as expected in this month, the races are getting tight. They're getting close. Philadelphia is continuing to win and win and win. They've won nine straight. They won nine straight. They won their ninth straight game, beating the Buffalo Sabres, who may as well just give up. Um, they and the Capitals are dead even, and I mean dead even in the Metropolitan. Same exact record, 41, 20, and 7. Same exact point total, 89 points. They're even tied in the first tiebreaker, which is regulation wins. Yes, that's the new first tiebreaker now. It used to be non-shootout wins or regulation overtime wins or row for short. That used to be the first tiebreaker, but now it's regulation wins. Then it's the row, and Washington is up by one in that regard, 37 to Philly's 36. So because of that, Washington is the first place team, but not by much. Washington beat Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh, they're still slumping. They ended their long losing streak, but it's now turned into a bad skid. They're on what I like to call the they're on what I like to call the Jerry Ryan skid. They've lost 7 of 9. That's for the Trekkies out there. But yeah, but they're still pretty close. They got 84 points, which is 5 behind Washington, Philly. However, if they keep playing like this, I think it's going to be a short. They're not going to last very long in the playoffs playing like this. It's awful. As for the Atlantic, well, the two-team race continues. Boston had a chance to become the first team to reach the century mark this season, but Tampa Bay put a stop to that with their 4-3 win uh, early Saturday. So Boston has a 7 point lead, but both of them are way ahead of Toronto. Nobody wants third place. It's kind of like the NFC East this past football season. Nobody wants that third place. But it's between Toronto and Florida, and Toronto has a 3 point lead over Florida. Florida just won, and Toronto came out here to the Golden State, and it was just awful. It was just awful. Toronto, I don't know what the deal is with the Leafs. The wild card race is pretty interesting. The Islanders and Columbus enter enter week two of NHL March Madness, which does include the last 4 days of April. They enter week two of NHL March Madness tied in points, but the Islanders have 2 games in hand. But the Islanders and Columbus are in the wild card positions. Carolina is right behind them, 77 points, 2 games behind the Isles and Jackets with their overtime win. The Rangers lost to the Devils at home, but they're still pretty close. And Florida's kind of closing in. They're, the crazy thing is they have 4 Metropolitan Division teams ahead of them, but it's not by much. Those 5 teams are separated by 3 points, and Montreal kinda has a shot. I don't know. So, but no, they're 8 points out, which seems like a lot, but it's not. That's 4 wins. They can get that. Um, the West. Oh boy. I don't think the hockey gods want the Avalanche in first place, though that may be a good thing. I mean, we all saw what happened to first place teams last year. But we had a solid chance at first place on Friday. St. Louis lost to the Devils. But that game against Vancouver, we just couldn't get it done. So as a result, while the Blues and the Avalanche both had the streaks end, the Blues have a 2 point lead over Colorado at the moment, and Dallas is a distant third. They're 8 points behind St. Louis and 6 points behind us in the Central. Now, actually, not just the Central, but it's pretty much the top spot in the Western Conference. And St. Louis and Colorado have the two highest point totals. But one of them will have to be on the road when they play each other in the playoffs, probably round two. The Pacific, well, Vegas had their hot streak come to an end, and Edmonton won the last game of the evening, a 4-1 victory over Columbus. So they and Vegas are in a first place tie. Same exact record. 37, 24, and 8. 82 points, same point total. However, Edmonton has more regulation wins than Vegas. That puts them over. So Edmonton is in first place. Vegas is the second place team. And Calgary, who's been kind of getting back on track a bit. They won 3 straight and 6 out of 10. They're in third place ahead of Vancouver. 3 points ahead of Vancouver. And if you thought the East wildcard race was a log jam, the West is an even bigger one. You got 5 teams separated by 2 points. 2 points. And 3 of the teams, the Canucks, Preds, and Jets, have the same point total. 76 across the board. That's the spirit. However, Vancouver is the number 1 wild card because they played the least games out of those 3. Vancouver's played 67 games, Nashville 68, Winnipeg 69. So those games in hand play a different role, but all that matters is what happens at the end when everyone's played their 82. Minnesota is 1 point out. They've been kind of winning a bit lately. They've won 7 out of 10. And Arizona, when they've been trading wins and losses lately, but they're only 2 points out. But they've played 69 games. They're running out of games. They run out of games, but there's 4 weeks left. That's plenty of time. Nobody has clinched a spot in the playoffs as of now. So, I would have mentioned on YouTube a congratulatory video if they did. But so far nobody has clinched a spot in the Stanley Cup playoffs as of yet, which is odd considering in the NBA I think 3 teams have clinched spots in that league's playoffs. It's a log jam. But anyway, so week 1 was pretty crazy. Week 1 was pretty crazy. Saw some a lot of great individual efforts. Leon Draisaitl scored 4 goals in the game on Monday. Mika Zibanejad caught wind and said, I can do better than that. He scored 5 on Thursday. A 6-5 overtime victory over Washington. 5 of those goals scored by Mika Zibanejad, including the overtime winner. That's amazing. 4 goals a game. 5 goals a game. I mean, stuff like this doesn't normally happen, but it's crazy. Okay, so what's in store for week 2? Okay. Pittsburgh starts it off with an early game against Carolina. NBC Sportsnet doubleheader. The Blues are in Chicago. Now, Chicago's trying to get in, but St. Louis is trying to hang on to the top spot in the Western Conference. And the team that's right behind St. Louis, the Colorado Avalanche, we're in San Jose. So that's NBC Sports Network's doubleheader on Sunday. Monday, the Blues are at home against Florida, while the Avalanche go to L.A. Of course, Blues and Florida, that's on the NHL Network. Tampa Bay and Toronto, that could be an opening round series. Now the game's in Toronto, but Toronto needs to win. They need to get some points and kind of keep their distance from the Panthers. Boston and Philly on NBC Sports Network. And Wednesday night's action. The Wednesday night game is San Jose and Chicago. I don't know why that's the Wednesday night game. I mean, San Jose is dead, and Chicago's chances aren't that good, but they're still alive somehow. Thursday, Toronto hosts the Predators, and we got Dallas is hosting Florida. Vancouver, Arizona, a battle of 2 teams that are looking to get in. Pittsburgh, Columbus, again, 2 seemingly playoff-bound teams. That should be good. Friday the 13th, the Avalanche play on Friday the 13th, and it's against the Canucks for the second straight Friday. This time it's in Denver. And The Blues are at home against San Jose. That game's on NHL Network, and I'll be keeping an eye on it. I don't trust the Sharks, but who knows? And then next Saturday we have the freeway game, freeway face off, Anaheim and LA. I mentioned that because well, it's local. Not that neither team has a shot. And the Bruins and the Maple Leafs. Oh boy, that's on the NHL Network next Saturday. And well, that's some of the key games that are coming up. Of course, Winnipeg and Calgary play each other. Those two are trying to jockey for playoff position. But we'll see how the second week. We'll see how the second week goes, starting tomorrow. So that's a look at the playoff picture. There's 4 weeks left of the season, and it's gonna be a hell of a ride. So if any team clinches, I'll have a congratulatory video up for that team. But I'll be back after uh, the last action ends next Saturday. And to that I say, enjoy the rest of NHL March Madness, hockey fans.